Welcome back, ladies and gents, and in this video we're going to be looking at an effect that was used in the Black Plasma animation called Animation Live. Pretty self-explanatory. If you have seen that, you might notice that in one of the scenes there's a sort of transition of like the materials overall, and it was an interesting effect, and it was mentioned by another YouTuber who found that out in one of the behind-the-scenes videos of this animation. So now that behind the scene was of course deleted, along with most of the other behind the scenes and tutorials and stuff, but we can still look at it. So first things first, you want to load up a scene. I already have one set up here, and for now let's see how do we do this. So first things first, you don't even have to separate anything. You just have your normal scene here, and you can select it all. Right now in this case I have it all separated for some reason, but you can just join it all. So now it's all joined, and for now we'll be working in the main layout area. So for this, if we just hold on, there we go. For this we'll actually want an invisible plane. That is going to be our main thing that sort of controls the looks and everything. So we just do the usual Shift A, mesh, and plane, and you just, scale it up to like a very big size, rotated. And now we go into the shading tab for this one. So let's actually pull up the render as well. So as you can see, we're now in the shading tab, and here we have the giant plane over here. And for now, we want to select it, and it doesn't have a material yet, but if we go over here and click new, it's going to create a material for it. And now the only thing we want to change here is delete this principled BSDF. Just click on it and press X, and then we press Shift A, search, and search up transparent. So we take this transparency node, and now we connect this little part over here to the surface. So as you can see, if we go into the render view here, you cannot see the plane. It's now transparent. And with this, we can move on to step 2, actually. Now you want to select the whole map where the stuff is, the leaves, the grass, whatever. And for this, you will actually go into the shader of each material that you want to change, that you want to see differently, that you want to have like the material swap, if you will. And let's say for this purpose of simplicity, let's actually move this back a bit. Let's say we want the leaves to change. So we just go over here into this little material properties below here, and we go into the little window over here, and we just, scroll and find the vegetation or whatever you need here. And we select the oak leaves, for example. And for this, we will actually go into the shader now, and ignore all of this for now. We'll get to that. But this was a standard layout up until the updates and stuff. And actually there's some stuff added here, so don't worry about it too much. But the main thing is that if we have this connected over here, you are going to see the normal leaves over here, as you can see. As you can see? Okay, but you'll see the normal leaves here, and we want to change that. We don't want to see those normal leaves when the scene starts out. For this, we actually create a little custom shader here. We take this part over here, and we plug this whole output of the whole thing over here. We plug it into a mix shader. So, the same thing, Shift A, search, and mix shader. Be careful because mix, you don't want mix, you want the mix shader. These two are always confusing. You add the mix shader, you add the output into the bottom shader over here, and the order matters in this because if it's below, then you're going to see it after the effect sits in. But if it's above, it's going to be before the effect sits in, and it's going to switch it to another material. Okay, but now we have another section over here. Whatever you want the leaves to be in this case. So we want like this, I guess, green. You can switch around it. You can create a custom shader, I guess. You can load up textures and stuff. But for me, this was a test mostly, and I just used this simple diffuse shader. You just, choose the color, the roughness. Plug this into the shader over here, up here, the first one. And now the final thing. This is what controls everything. So as you can remember, not like we've been looking at it for the past like 5 minutes, but we created this giant transparent plane over here. And this is the thing that will control the material swap, as I said. So over here we have the light path. You just, this is redundant, but you search up the light path, you add it, and you plug in the transparent depth into a math node, I think. Yeah, this should be a math node. You search up math for this, and you go into this little option where it says add, and you set it to greater than, and you don't have to change anything here, or actually you do threshold. Yeah, you set it to a 0. I can't really remember, but this does work. It's just I don't remember why it's a 0. You can experiment with it, and I think there was a certain effect that you can achieve with it. But actually, what I need to plug this in here, but you plug the transparent depth into the value, so it's going to act as our value. The threshold is 0, the greater than, and this output value you plug it into the factor of the mix shader. And now whenever Blender sees that something is behind an invisible plane or an invisible object, in like any case, it's gonna take that and convert it to whatever you plugged in down here. Whenever there's no transparent object in sight or in front of the material that we're switching, it's gonna use this first shader. I hope that made sense. This is probably the last video you're gonna hear me sound at least somewhat sane, because we're gonna be moving on to shaders. I hate those things. I don't know how to explain shaders properly, but okay. Anyways, and now with all of that, you pretty much have it done. As I said, you can create any material you like here. You can use anything. If you switch the order, it's gonna first use this. You're gonna see what you see in this port. Actually, yeah, no. You're gonna see it right now if we render it out. Let's actually plug it into the surface, the output shader. Yeah, as you can see, this is what you see over here. Sorry for the quality. I don't care for optimizing scenes that much because I usually render out stuff. But as we see over here, we see this material, the one that we set, and as I said, textures and stuff. You can experiment, find out for yourself whatever texture you like. And this below, this is what you're going to see after the plane sets in, because we have the factor controlling here. So we can actually use this to our advantage. Let's take this plane and like move it somewhere here. And if we now go into the rendered view, as you can see, wherever the plane is, if we are behind it, if we select it, this is what you'll see behind it. As you can see, there's the border of the plane. My computer sounds like it's about to blow up. But yeah, anything behind the plane, you'll see the bottom shader. Anything you see before the plane is going to be the top shader. And actually, now you can just, rotate it the way you want it. If you want it like a little slanted movement. And for this, you just keyframe the movement of the plane. So if you have a timeline set up, you can just keyframe the position that it's first in. So like just, set it here, a keyframe, move the whole plane, the usual deal, just, move it, and then another keyframe. Maybe set it to linear if you want it, and it's going to move through, and it's going to change the texture as it goes. For that, you'll have to render out the whole animation, but if you have set everything up correctly, it should work, because you can even test it in the rendered view. As you saw, it's going to show you that the material is switching. If everything is right, just go ahead and animate with it. So yeah, that is going to swap the materials, and you're going to have that nice clean effect with whatever texture you want. But yeah, that was hopefully helpful. I think I sounded a bit weird this video. I don't know why. my voice is funny. It's funny today. It's a silly voice. But yeah, I hope that helped. Like, sub. 69% of you are only subscribed. All right. And with that, I'm out. Peace.